Good afternoon, guys, and happy Monday to all of your sunshiny faces, guys. I know I said earlier, earlier in the week and then also yesterday too, I was like, I need to try and start getting some stuff ready for my plan on kind of couponing and grocery shopping and all that stuff this week. My biggest goal would be that I want to reorganize the pantry and the refrigerator freezer. And then today I was kind of almost thinking, actually it was literally a thought that popped into my head a couple minutes ago. What if I actually ended up doing a video, film ahead video and then show that? But at the same time I'm like, it is such a disorganized, chaotic mess. I don't know if I want to. It is literally crazy. So I don't know, guys. One of the things that is probably most helpful though right now is the fact that I already did so much work in that laundry room, which is where we store a portion of our food. Our house is not really very big. We don't have a walk-in pantry. We have a very small pantry that does not work well, and it would work well if we didn't buy things in bulk probably, and maybe if there was a person or two less that lived in the house. At one point there were 6 people living in our house and we bought a lot of stuff in bulk, and the pantries and everything like that and where storage was and all that kind of stuff has always been changing. We used to keep snacks in this spot, and then we moved, and then we had that in this spot, and then we had it in a different spot or whatever. And so for, like I said, the longest time it was just a changing of where stuff was kept. And I really like the spot that everything's in right now. Somewhat. It's not like I'm like, you know what, I really want to switch that and move that, and I want that stuff to be kept in that spot, and I want this to be here. I honestly, one of the biggest things that I don't like, when we got the new refrigerator, and then also around the time I think we inherited some of my grandma's things, like one of the shelves that we have that's in the kitchen, and some of the other stuff, that we were keeping cookbooks and stuff like that on, that now we're storing the crock pots on, because where we were storing the crock pots, we ended up moving that shelf in the living room. Anyways, guys, yeah, we move stuff around, like I said, all the time. But my mom ended up wanting to get a new, which I cannot stand, guys, I hate the thing, this new pantry shelving cabinet thing. Honestly, I almost feel like it's sort of, I guess, like a pantry thing, but she got it from Walmart. It is so cheap. The drawers have already both fallen apart. And we've had the thing for maybe 2 years. And like I said, the drawers already fell apart. They're both, completely, we can't fix them. And the thing was just so super cheap. Honestly, what I would love is a big built-in from IKEA. That would be my dream, guys. I'd love that. I don't know if anybody else would be on the same page with me, but again, both of my parents, I think, are very, very not organized minded, and me, my brain is always going how can I organize that? That is clutter. I don't want to see that, even though I will admit I do sometimes have clutter and leave clutter in my room too much, but I think it does not help me focus when I see it and when I'm around it. Honestly, guys, today that chair had a bunch of clothing on it, and other than my jacket that's over there right now, because of where we're going tomorrow, guys, I used to have clothes on it earlier today. I took care of it and put all my clothes away. I'm bad sometimes about that, because sometimes I'll be like, oh, I only wore those pants for a half hour right before I went to bed or something like that. I'm like, I'm not going to wash these because I'll just wear them again tomorrow, or I'll wear them again a different day, or whatever. So I might leave them there. Or if I was I just threw that sweatshirt on for a little while, or sometimes a jacket or something, I will throw stuff on that chair. And then sometimes it gets really bad, and then sometimes I will just take my clothes from the laundry room when they're clean and then start throwing them on there once it started to accumulate clothing. And the reason my jacket, that vest is sitting there right now is because we are going to go to the the varsity soccer game tomorrow for the high school, because they actually have made it into the playoffs, which is awesome. And they won, I think, the first and second round already. They're going into the third round. I don't know what that is, but it's actually at a high school that's not too far away, so we were like, why not go? Because like different high schools host like the tournaments for like the playoffs and everything like that, and so they won the first two. So I was like, you know what, my dad also too, because he coaches football, talks to the soccer coach, you know, pretty often. He was like, well, if you guys win, because the last game was on Friday, and he's like, if you guys have it, you know, win and have another game during the week, like, we'll come out. And so my dad, his friend, and then also I think me and Jack are going to go as well. I'm not sure my mom wants to go and sit through it, and I don't know that Matthew will be home. Honestly, might shoot him a text and be like, hey, if you're not doing anything, we're gonna be out there to go watch the soccer game. Might be kind of fun. You know, so anyways, we're gonna go and do that tomorrow. But like I said, sometimes clutter and stuff like that, you know, when I leave things out or things are sitting around, and I've done a pretty good job recently actually with keeping my desk clean for the most part and clear and, you know, like organized and stuff like that. I do have some things that are sitting out that don't need to be right now, but like I said, you know, that's just I can get to that stuff, but it's, like I said, not nearly as bad as like it was at one point. And I do have some like other things, like my football bag is still sitting on my floor. I have to go through it. There's like my umbrella, I think, is in there, and I think I have like one of the fall sport like catalog thingies that just say like who the team is and stuff like that, and you know, the players on the team, because I was using that as a reference for like when we were going to the football game. So like that I need to put away. I have a few other little things sitting around, but for the most part, like I said, I don't like seeing clutter. I don't like being around clutter, and I feel like that specific cabinet in the living room, or I'm sorry, in the kitchen, is my biggest pet peeve, because it is just a cluttery, it never stays organized. It's a cluttery mess. And on top of that too, like I said, that pantry thing that my mom ended up buying, it is what was I gonna say, the drawers are all broken on it, and it doesn't fit and hold stuff very well. Like, it's a mess. And so I don't even know how to record, like, and I don't know how to record something that is just so unorganized, and how to make it organized and keep it organized, if that makes sense. So like in the laundry room, like obviously I'm like, okay, this stuff is disorganized, but at least there are shelving units that are all there that I can put bins and stuff like that in, so that there's not going to be just loose things hanging around. If everything has a spot and it's in its spot, that's fine. The problem with at least that particular pantry is that nothing seems to work well and fit there, that I feel like nothing that is in there already has a spot. Like, it's not gonna stay organized. That's like our snacks cabinet, sort of, and it's too small. I think personally it looks really awkward and stupid there. Like, I don't know, I don't like it. I don't like how it looks. The other one looked, we had an other old like white cabinet is what we called it, and it had like a hutch on it. Honestly, it looks super old. It was like from the 80s, I think. It was actually my dad's parents, I think. And funny enough, when we were actually cleaning the attic last winter or whatever it was, me and Matthew, we found there's supposed to be glass sliding doors on the hutch, and we found them broken in the attic. But my mom thought they got thrown away, but no, I found shards of glass all over the attic and figured out what it was from when they were all wrapped in newspaper. So it said this is for, you know, whatever, and we just figured that out after we'd thrown it away, literally. I think, maybe it was like the year before that or whatever. But like I said, I personally don't think the other one looked aesthetically beautiful. It fit the space perfectly. It didn't look like it was out of place. This one looks like it's super, like, it sticks out way too far, and then on top of that, it's not very tall. Like, I expect it to be taller, more like a, almost like a wardrobe, kind of. That's what it looks like. I'm sure you guys have probably seen it in some of the other vlogs, but it's like a short, like, I'm like taller than it, and it, you know, I can see up onto the top of it, but at the same time, it's like, it sticks out really far, and it's like really, so it has really deep space, but I feel like that's the problem, is when you have deep space, things get lost in the back of cabinets and stuff like that. And so that's why you need to have something like with our other actual built-in pantry. It has like sliding drawers that come out so you can actually pull them out and see what's in the back of the pantry. With this you can't. So I feel like that's one of the places where it gets hung up on, and you can't like keep it organized because things get pushed to the back. Like I said, we'll have a bag of chips that end up pushed into the back of the cabinet. Nobody knows they're there, and like honestly too, there's no room to actually fit a bag of chips in this pantry. Like it just does not, the space does not work well for what my mom thought it was. But the old one that we had, although again it looked really old, it fit the space well and it fit everything, plus we had like excess amount of space, I felt like, with that, whereas we don't now. We like lost space. So like I said, I would absolutely love like some sort of like built-in shelving unit kind of thing there. I think that would be so totally awesome. I feel like it'd also make the house you know, the house worth go up because it's obviously built in at that point, so it goes wherever the house goes. You know, like if we move, it's not coming out with us. And so, you know, if it's like a custom built thing, which doesn't have to be super expensive, like you can do that kind of stuff through IKEA, you know, like with a shelving unit sort of thing, and just kind of customize it, make it however, or even to just regular shelves and make them yourself, or just do like, you know, like wood from, you know, Menards or something like that, like a hardware store. I feel like it's not that difficult. And, you know, making some that have maybe cabinet doors actually on them, making some maybe that have sliding, you know, drawers and stuff like that, but making the space as utilizable as possible, because I feel like there's so much vertical space now that we're not using that's really suffering. The only problem is right there, we do have the TV that's in the kitchen, which I don't see why we couldn't maybe move to somewhere else or something like that, you know, like something. So, or maybe even to make it so that the TV's built into the built-in, you know, sort of thing, or maybe make it around that. And then you can even do it with doors, like cabinet doors, so if you wanted to close it, you could. That's a huge project. I think my dad could do it, although he's not necessarily a carpenter. Like, he works construction, he's an electrician. I mean, he knows how to, you know, how to cut things for scale and all that kind of stuff, you know, and correct measurements. I think sometimes though, like the same I normally point out though, I'll be like, oh, don't forget about, you know, like there's a hinge there, so you have to make sure that there's enough room so you can open that against, you know, if it's butted up right next to the wall or something, you know, that kind of thing. Whereas sometimes I think my dad like forgets about that sometimes, like on some of the projects we've worked on or whatever. My dad's built plenty of things. I think that we'd be able to do it. It's just like, I think the amount of time it would take to do something like that, and not that it would take long, I think that it's just my dad doesn't have that much time to be able to do it. But like I said, that's one of the things I can't stand it. I can't stand, we got rid of the other one. Like I said, can't stand this new one. I can't stand it's broken already, and it broke probably like literally within 2 years. I honestly think it was maybe a little less than that, because I know that one of the cabinet drawers, like the back of it fell out, and the screw fell out like with it, like pulled like the backing out. And so I don't know if that makes sense. Like, it can't be fixed, basically. We have to get new parts now to fix it, or, you know, some type of something in order to get it to be fixed. Like, it's not just like, oh, the screw's loose, like, let's just put it back in. Like, it literally tore pieces out of itself. And I don't know how it happened. And people were jamming stuff in there that wasn't supposed to be, but it was just, it's cheaply, like, built, and I didn't like it from the get-go. But, like I said, I don't know. I want to do something like that, like do a video maybe thing, but you know, over the time that I'm doing it, I know I won't have it done by this week. I know I definitely will not organize it this week, and the videos will not be up this week. The videos might not be up for like a month or something like that, but I definitely know for sure that I will probably, unless maybe Friday or something like that, like would be able to actually get to, like I said, doing something like that. Even just doing the organization at all, whether or not I end up recording a video for it. That's what I was thinking about doing. Kind of just, like I said, the last few minutes I was thinking about that. But I feel like those are the two, well, I guess the refrigerator, freezer organization and that kind of stuff, and then also doing the pantry, so just kind of food in general, like reorganizing all of that stuff. And So again, I think of food, like the pantry stuff is separate because that's all like dry shelf stable stuff, and then the refrigerator freezer stuff is like a different thing because I can't just take stuff out and be like, okay, I can just leave this sit out for a little while I'm organizing or cleaning the cabinets or whatever. I have to make sure that it gets back in there pretty quickly because like the freezer stuff will start defrosting. Granted, it's not that cold out. And you know, if I was doing like the outside freezer, but you know, stuff in the refrigerator and inside freezer, if it's in the house, probably not for too long. But it's not like it's the middle of summer and everything. It's like 90 degrees in the house too. But I'm a little torn about doing the videos, and then also too, it's just one of those things that I need to kind of get into the right headspace sometimes to like organize, because I know it's something that needs to be done, but at the same time too, I feel like it's involved in a lot of like cleaning as well. And it's not just organizing something, you know, but it's like taking everything off the shelves. And then normally when I do that, I'm like, okay, let's give the shelves a nice wipe down and everything like that. Okay, now we'll put everything back, because I've done it maybe, the last time was maybe about a year ago or something like that. You know, it wasn't like a huge, like that would be considered deep cleaning for me. And again, I probably haven't done it since the last time I really organized those cabinets, which again probably wasn't since a year ago. But again, figuring out like what kind of stuff is even still good in the cabinets and stuff like that, and what's not, you know, if there's stuff that's been in there for like forever. And again, if I want to end up moving things around or finding new places for it, or what would fit best. And I feel like that's the thing, is that because of our house, we have never found the ideal space for storing things. So although things go from cabinet to cabinet, we might have kept snacks in this spot for a while, might have kept, you know, cans in this cabinet or whatever. And the problem is with our pantry, because they have like rolling sliding drawers in them, so we can't overweigh them down either, because then they start falling off the track. And we do have like big, like the actual like brackets that hold the shelves in slant in, so they're actually harder now to pull out because they've gotten so overweighted with cans and other things that are just heavy. But I've showed you guys too in some of the organization that I did, some of the, you know, what's it called, the ball canning jars. That actually I think helps keep a lot of the stuff in some of the spices and seasoning and pasta that I've done. And in that one other white cabinet, I did all the nuts and like dried fruits and stuff like that. I feel like that actually helps maybe a little bit more with the weight and also organization too, and I like that. But it's some of the other stuff that I can't. I'm not gonna, you know, take stuff out of cans to put them in the ball canning jars, you know, that isn't already like in a jar, or, you know, it's in a can or something like that. And we don't use canned stuff all that often. We do have a nice little pile of it, but that's also the other thing, is that like I want to try and use what we have to make freezer dinners with, or use what we have so that I don't have to go out and buy like, you know, extra stuff, because I really sometimes don't even know what we have. And that's the other problem too, is that like it's not organized well, that I can't be like, oh, we have all of this stuff, you know. I feel like I love now the linen closet. I think I keep going back to that, the way that's organized, because I can look in there and be like, okay, this is all of the dental care stuff. Okay, we got toothpaste in here, you know, we're good. I don't, you know, if toothpaste isn't free, I don't need to buy any toothpaste, or, you know, whatever. You know, there's mouthwash left, you know, or maybe, oh, we only have one bottle left. Maybe I should buy a bottle, you know, if it's on sale at a store or whatever. And I can see that and then know, yes, I do need to get that, versus trying to go through a pantry and trying to go through, you know, a pantry full of cans and be like, okay, I cannot find, you know, canned green beans or something like that, or, you know, I can't find a can of cream of mushroom soup. Like, I can't find that stuff in the pantry because it's not organized. Not that all the stuff is normally in the right place, it's just not accessible, and that's the part I feel like is really difficult. So I'm sorry guys, I've dragged this vlog on way too long. I need to take a shower and get to bed. I'm trying to go to bed early, guys. I'm trying to be good, because again, I'll probably clean the bathroom tomorrow, and again, would want to get to something else too, like start maybe a pantry cabinet reorganization thing. And like, I don't really feel like doing it. I felt like I exhausted so much trying to do the laundry room in and of itself, that the food, like I said, if it was easy, And like I hadn't attempted to do it before. Like I never tried to organize the laundry room. I did, and now I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Like, and now all this stuff is put away and organized and stuff like that, and you know, this is great. But I've tried to do the food so many times, and like this stuff doesn't stay organized. That's the whole point. I have to go back now and organize it again. Whereas the linen closet for over a year now has stayed organized, and I haven't had to worry about like, hey, I have to go through this. Maybe, you know, sometimes there's a few things that are sitting out and I can just throw them back where they belong because there's a spot for them. But again, with the food situation, I feel like that's not how it is, and that's why for me is like, I don't want to do this because I know how it's gonna end. It's not gonna end organized, you know, or stay organized. I'm gonna have to do it again probably in a few months. So but it's, again, boils down to that whole thing of coming back, doing couponing stuff, doing shopping, you know, and doing, you know, posting about all those type of deals and stuff like that, and actively buying stuff in bulk and all that kind of thing. And like, I can't store it well, or I can't find things that I'm pretty sure I already have, is what's, I feel like, really difficult. So you know, that's where I'm like, I need to do this so that I can get a head start on what I'm planning on doing and making freezer dinners, doing all that kind of stuff again, and know what I have to do that with. But I can't if I'm not already, you know, if it's not already organized. And so, but I'm like I said, I'm at this impasse because I don't want to do it, but I know that it needs to be done. And you know, I could be just like, oh, I'll just, you know, live with it or whatever, live with the disorganized mess, you know, and just be like, whatever. Or I can be like, you know, okay, I'll try and attempt it, and then probably get frustrated, throw in the towel, and leave food all over the place. There's gonna be just cans of green beans that I couldn't find, and I'm gonna get frustrated, and it's gonna be left all over the table, you know, or something, and it's not gonna get put back away. But yeah, I need to maybe sleep on it, maybe think more on, get some ideas running, because I feel like, again, the same way I did with the linen closet, I thought that was going to be a huge headache, and I thought it was never going to stay organized. It has. The laundry room too, I mean, I don't have the bins right now, but everything has stayed organized. And, you know, like looking at the laundry room too, I can be like, wow, like all this stuff should stay organized too. And, you know, I got like a head start on doing all of that laundry room stuff. I feel like will help maybe with the food situation as well, but I don't know, guys. I'm just, like I said, I'm torn where I want to start. And, you know, just, I feel like looking at it though helps me sometimes, and being like, okay, actually maybe this stuff would fit better in that spot, or maybe this stuff would fit better in that spot, or, you know, maybe I can actually organize this way, or, you know, something. I have to try and figure it out. And like I said, maybe I just need some time to try and do that. But like, I didn't start the process of looking at it. I feel like that's the first step in it, is assessing, you know, assessing what needs to happen. So maybe I'll try and do that tomorrow. And then maybe go from there, like going into next week. Anyways though, guys, I will see you all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love if you subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye, guys.